Taking no shorts. Coming right up.
We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Y'all gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.
Keep it going. Let's go. No, keep it going.
That's what I said.
Woo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Taking No Shorts podcast, episode 125. I cannot believe it. 125 episodes in.
That's a good number.
It's a wonderful thing.
That's a great number.
So since we're here, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and get the particulars out of the way. You're watching live. Well, not live, but you're watching Taking No Shorts podcast. I'm your host, Jay Grizzy Green, a.k.a. Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone.
Exactly.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. But also every Friday around this time, you can catch this live stream or recording of Taking No Shorts at the following streaming channels. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, all at Taking No Shorts Pod. Glad that I got all of that out the way. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing, getting me to my subscription goal. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that, hit those comments, but mainly get that subscription. So share. Let everybody know this thing grow organically, so I ain't got to go on my hands and knees. So these social media companies. Let me go get to my guest today. She is the founder of the Ruby Grant Project. Oh, I ain't gonna do that yet. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a social advocate for prison reform. And like I said, she is the founder of the Ruby Grant Project. We're going to get into who is Ruby Grant because that name sounded familiar as soon as I heard it. But
you might know her.
I might know her. You know, as many of the places I done went on visitation to around the state.
She was a little thing. She got around.
But ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for the sister Shayshawn Williams.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, sister. What's happening?
Let me start off by saying, look what Jay got here, y'all. Jay got cheese. Now, if you know me, this right here, you don't go wrong with cheese.
You got to get the Triscuit, though, with it, though.
I don't even need the Triscuit. This right here.
Go get bagged up.
I don't need flower cards and candy. You make me mad, give me some cheese, you're forgiven.
Yeah, I try to be a good guest. I mean, a good host to my guests when they come through. So
absolutely.
Seychelle, what happening?
How are you doing, sir? Thank you for having me. Y'all got to forgive me. I got the glasses on because I can't see, but my lashes in the way. But I'm gonna be professional today. I'm gonna keep them on.
No, keep them on. I mean, if you got to see, we want you to see. We don't want you not to see. You know, this how this come about? Man, you hit me with a performer email, the most professional email I've ever gotten to be a guest on Taking No Shorts. So kudos to you, because usually niggas be like, "Yo, let me get on."
Usually with me, it's the opposite. It's like they see the professional email and then they meet me and they be like,
"No, you got that's look no." In this space. You know, professionalism goes a very long way.
Absolutely.
Goes a very long way. So you hit me up with the email. You say, hey, this is what I'm on. And I say, yeah, I would love to have you. So what are you on? This is the Ruby Grant Project. First, who is Ruby Grant to you?
Ruby Grant. Ruby Grant started with this little 4'11" lady, my grandmother. Like we was explaining before the show started. My project was actually supposed to be We Win Coalition. But I set up the LLC incorrectly. So it was like, okay, pay all this money to change it or change the name. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to change the name and let the thing die out. So I'm like, well, what would I change the name to that would be meaningful to me? Because I wanted to be meaningful. We Win Coalition was meaningful. And I couldn't think of anything. And I'm laying in the bed one day, and my grandmother's obituary failed. Let me tell you something. This thing no way should have failed. There's no way this obituary should have failed.
Was it a newspaper?
No, her still obituary was sitting on the corner of the dresser. I mean, it's no way it should have failed.
Oh, wow.
But it failed.
That's crazy.
So as I picked it up, I was actually researching the Innocence Project. So I was looking at her and I was looking at the Innocence Project, and all of a sudden, like the Ruby Grant Project just popped in my head. And once I went with that name, it just took off.
What was her work, Ruby's?
So my grandmother was actually an evangelist. My grandmother actually is Jamaican. She was Jamaican. So she came to America. I'm Jamaican. So y'all see my little crazy attitude sometimes. Don't blame it on my Jamaican side. But
you do a little bit patois.
No.
Okay. I follow a page.
I don't even understand them when they talk.
I totally understand. I think West Indians are very comic. I always look at stuff from a funny point of view anyway, so they're very
I don't even understand what they're saying half the time. But yes, when I'm mad, I say that. It's crazy. When I'm mad, I say that really well. But my grandmother came to America just to make a better life for her family, but she was heavy in the church. She followed Christ like that was her every day. So she was an evangelist. That was her homeboy. They were friends. They were real good friends. So she preached at a lot of churches all over the DMV, traveled to many states, but she also was big on prison ministry. She went to a lot of prisons. Big on prison ministry. She was big on injustice, big on speaking out against what was wrong. She was very big in her community. She did a lot. So when I thought of the name, it came to me, the Ruby Grant Project. This was my way of continuing her legacy because she created one.
Did anybody ever find out by Ruby Grant, like that she was in the church and she was doing God's work, but what motivated her to go into prison ministry, or was it just that was just a part of her ministry overall?
You know what? Her prison ministry was just spreading the word of God. Her prison ministry was just her going and taking the word of God to lives that she felt needed saved. Her being in the community was just saving lives. My grandma, she'll go inside a shelter preaching, anywhere she goes, you never know, she'll come stand right there at that door and the Spirit will just move her and she'll start talking. So, but following her legacy is because she's not afraid to speak her truth. She's not afraid to stand in what she believes in and stand up for it with no shame, no apologies. And so she was really, really had a voice that could be heard even out of this 411 body. So carrying on her legacy, and when I say her legacy, that's just I'm not afraid to speak out. I'm not afraid to speak out against what's going on that's wrong. I'm not afraid to speak out against incorrect laws, unfairness. I'm not afraid to speak out. So that's me carrying on her legacy. So this is personal. This is rewarding. And since it's been the Ruby Grant Project, I think she up there looking down because I've been going.
That spirit don't go nowhere.
It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere.
It don't go anywhere. Her name is ringing out right now in the universe.
Yes. She's actually, so we're Williams. So Grant is her maiden name. And the reason why I named it the Ruby Grant Project, because whenever something happens, she'll go, I ain't a Williams, I'm a Grant. I'm a Grant. I'm saying, let me grant you, Grandma.
When did you start this work? Like, how did you? Because I see where you get the motivation from, but what precipitated you joining it?
So I actually was incarcerated. I actually did 5.5 years, and the time that I was incarcerated,
what did you do?
What did I do to get incarcerated?
Hold on, let me hear my comedy part coming out.
Let's hear you go.
Yeah. Is it when people get in trouble with the law, they always say it wasn't me. I'm not guilty. Like the lady said, POP hold me down. Like, so you didn't, I'm just saying, what did you do? Or what they accuse you of?
So what I did was, let's back up, because unfortunately I've been dabbling with craziness with the law since maybe 2007. A lot of it was financial stuff. Back in 2007, and then some of it was fighting. As soon as I said some of it was fighting, my hand started twitching. Did you see that? Girl, someone was fighting.
You was defending yourself. That's what a lawyer would say.
You know what? No, I was always fighting, defending somebody else. You can mess with me, but if you come for somebody I love or care about, I'm ready to chop.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I used to always have this thing, a greedy problem. I was greed. I wanted something when I wanted it, and if I didn't get it, I would do foolish things to get it. Going down the road, I met wrong people. And I was in a relationship with the guy where it was a little bit of domestic abuse involved. So for me to try to, okay, let me break up for a minute. I'm going to say domestic violence, but I don't know who was worse because I wasn't one of those I wasn't like a domestic violence, like he hit me and I'm like, it was like, what's up?
Let's go.
Like, what's up? So that's where he was like, oh, you just don't, So I got to be careful how I say domestic violence because, a man shouldn't hit a woman, but if he came this way, I came back. But a lot of times I just wanted to keep the peace in the household, so I saw the stupidity of what I was doing, going to work and taking things from work that I shouldn't be taking. Started to increase just to keep the peace in the household. And one thing about Virginia, you could do something in 2007 and it'll come back on you 20 years later.
The statute of limitations is a long time.
Yes. So 10 years later, maybe not even 10, but, something that he had done, it came back because he would like to take the bank card and take this and do stuff in my name. And then I was still one of them street chicks. Actually, I take it back because I wasn't a street chick. My mama didn't raise me to be a street chick. But I was in that, hung around with people in the streets where don't snitch. Don't snitch. You know something, don't snitch. So when I'm still in the courtroom, I want to say he, but I'm still trying to, if I sit here and hopefully it'll die down. Well, it didn't die down. Now, to top it all off, I had another situation that occurred where the hands had to come out again. So the judge was like, okay, you got this going on. You got the bad people you hang with, and you still don't know how to keep your hands to yourself. You don't need to be in the Commonwealth right now.
They sent you out of state?
No, when I say the Commonwealth, I mean as far as freedom in the Commonwealth right now. You go on over there because you don't know how to keep your hands to yourself. And I'm like, and I'm like, 2 years. 5.5 years.
They gave you a lot of time.
5.5 years. And even in that situation, I don't know if that 5.5 years was bad or if it's what saved.
Probably what saved you.
It's probably was I'm not even gonna say save me. I'm gonna say it probably would help me learn my purpose.
Amen.
Because growing up, I never had dreams like, I want to do this, I want to do that. It was just more so my mom wanted me to be an engineer. My mom wanted me to go into the military, so I did ROTC. I went to, got accepted into Virginia Tech, but I went to Virginia Union. But I didn't even want to go to college. I went to college because my mom wanted me to go to college.
Right.
And
a lot of times we do that. We do stuff because our folks want us to do it. But when you're young, I mean, the universe has a strange way of coming back around to you.
Yes.
You might not be doing the Ruby Grant project if not for the certain paths that people take to get there. So I was just curious about what had happened for you because you seem like such a sweet young lady.
Everybody, they say, well, you look like you in the church. You don't look like you should be here. And I'm like, no, I shouldn't. But you don't even realize if you say something incorrect right now.
Right. No, I'm present. I know. Look, I've been in situations where people, especially doing stand up, you see an audience member, and we call it crowd work, and you go, back and forth playing the dozens or jonesing on them or whatever. I'll never forget, it was this big hat church lady. Why they sit her in the front, like, because we can only see maybe 4 rows deep, because of the lights. But they sat this lady. She looked like she looked like anybody's grandma, auntie, or whatever. So me and her, I said, "Oh, you." I forgot what I said to her, but whatever I said to her as a joke, and the crowd laughed. She was on when she looked at me and she cut her face. You don't want these problems, young boy. And I went over there. What y'all doing over there? I said, nah. So, yeah, it could. It's. I guess here we go, because here we go with my emotional shit now. Like, what was it when they gave you that time? What was you feel like? How was you scared? What was the emotions going through when those doors locked behind you?
You know what? To back it up a little further than that, when I was going through the cases, when I was going through all the court appearances and so forth, I didn't tell nobody. Only person that knew was my best friend. My mom didn't know. My sisters didn't know. Because at that point in my life, I was doing good. At nice car, good job, apartment, you know.
Was ashamed?
Yeah, back in, I wouldn't so much as say ashamed, but, you know, my family, we have a lot of, you know, good, like my family, that stuff just don't happen in our family. Of good stock.
Yeah,
we're of good cow. We're good meat. Okay.
We don't fuck up over here.
We're not supposed, especially Erica Williams kids. We don't do that.
Right.
So it wasn't so much as a shame. It's just more so of pissing my mama off, and letting her down. And then we are we don't want nobody in our business type of family. So Erica Williams' child is not supposed to be going through this stuff that she's going through. Yeah. So I went out through all the court cases and stuff by myself. Every court appearance. When I got the 5 years, when I got sentenced, and I'm like, where did this come from? The amount of time they gave me. Now I got to tell them. I mean, I knew I had to tell them, but I wrote my sister a letter, and then she had to relay that news to my family. That was April 2018. I didn't speak to my mom until Christmas of 2018.
Oh, wow.
Because I knew she was broken. And if I would have called my mom and heard her voice, it would have broke me.
You, and you needed to be.
And so I needed to, for Christmas Day, I was hearing from my sisters that she was sad and she just needed to hear my voice. And so Christmas Day, but my mom stood by my side the whole time.
That's my parents.
The whole time, you know.
Give a round of applause for mama.
Round of applause for my mama. My mama.
You put up with some shit, boy. I tell you.
And she got 4 girls. I'm the oldest, so you know that's a strong woman right there.
I got boys. Oh man, now, but I can only imagine. My wife was like, "Can you imagine if we had girls and they cut your eye, roll your eyes one time?" Ooh.
Well, see, my mother, she was a single mother with 4 girls, and she worked. So I was like the mama in my household. Right. You know, I was with my sisters. I did the homework and the cleaning and the cooking. I could do all of that, like at the age of 12.
Right.
You know, so between me and my mom with my sisters, that's how our household ran. But because of that, I didn't have the freedom. I didn't have, I'm not going to say the childhood, but I had a lot of responsibilities on me at a young age. So therefore, when college came and the freedom came and I didn't have mommy there to get, it was like, gone, bye. I ain't studying. I'm down at Virginia State, Norfolk State, and we partying and the bus coming to pick us up, $10 a ticket.
Remember the Labor Day weekend, Norfolk State,
Virginia State.
Oh, man. That was... This is how old I was the year before they shut down the boardwalk in Virginia Beach. Mm-hmm. That was 89. I'm telling my age now, but...
God, I was 89. I was 5.
But a couple years later, I want to say not, because I went to college 95. So about 92, we down there. And we partied so hard, but we had to get back to Richmond. And I was so hungover, and we were supposed to be exchanging, like, you drive this far, I'll drive that far. Well, the rest of my homeboys are smashed, and I was being the responsible one. I said, I got it, guys. It's just to Richmond. I got it. Man, I all fell asleep coming out of the tunnel and was on the bridge and almost, I pulled over to they had, you know, every once in a while, every so miles, they got the emergency pullover. And I pulled over, right? So we literally, the car, to get some sleep, I just needed 30 minutes of sleep, right? So the car's window, the car door is literally like this close to the railing, and the water is over there.
There's no water.
So, and the birds and fish and shit coming. So my homeboy wake up. I got the windows down trying to get fresh air, trying to sober up. He look up, he said, nigga, where you got us at? I said, yo, man, I almost killed that.
We was almost with the fishy.
Yeah, that's my Norfolk State, Virginia State, because we partied hard down there. My wife was down
Virginia State can party. I don't know if BSU is still the same, but back when I was at Union, you $10, you get the ticket, get on the bus, and that's what I was doing. Flip, flip, flip.
We had to fend for ourselves. It wasn't for our folks' fault, I think, especially because I served single parent household as well, four kids. I was the oldest. And the latchkey, when you come home from school, do your homework, don't let nobody in this house, make sure that homework done. You had a certain kind of discipline, but when you mischievous at 12, 13, 14, you gonna find some shit to get into, especially in the hood.
Yeah.
Or the hood gonna find some shit. Thank God, many cats was like, yo, just run that around the corner. And I'm like, I can't. Y'all know I can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's easy to get caught up. The dynamics for us as African Americans growing up in our communities, it's almost like a funnel. It's like it's set up to keep us, even from slavery times, to keep going into these prison systems. And so I always ask folks that done time, like when those doors close, because I had never done it, but when those doors close, I feel for the men and women that do that, because a lot of people do time alone, and it hurt. And who can you can't, when you locked up, when you're incarcerated, you can't afford to be vulnerable like that. You got to be. And then I'm thinking for a lady to do just from a lady's point of view, the ladies' prison, is it much different than a man?
Depends. So I started off at Goochland, and Goochland was like a college campus. So Goochland was fun. I was at Goochland for like 4 months. And
now they're gonna try to put Goochland on lockdown because you'd have said that.
I'm sorry, Goochland Correctional Center for Women, GCCW, but Goochland was fun, and I say it was fun because we were outside a lot, because you had to walk everywhere. So we were outside. We call it the boulevard, and then there were no fences. The person who donated the facility did not want it structured like a prison, so it's literally like a big college campus.
How long has Goochland been around? How long is that? State Farm been around since the fucking 1800s.
That's where I work at now.
Oh, for real?
That's where I'm up there on State Farm Power 10 over at the press shop.
That's been around since the late 1800s. I know. I looked up my great-great-grandfather, and he was convicted of loitering, meaning he was sharecropping, and his crop didn't come through, and they locked him up.
That sounds like something Virginia would do.
That sounds like something. If you was a black man before, doing Jim Crow, and you didn't have if you wasn't working for the white man or making money for the white man or had a job, they could just lock you up just for nothing.
Just for not working for the white.
Yeah, just not perpetuating slavery. And so I saw that, and I saw what he was locked up for, and I'm like, State Farm, Virginia, loitering? You mean to tell me y'all saying him? Well, back then they called them farms. That's what where you had to probably break rocks or whatever, putting on the hard labor or whatever. And it was only like a short stay. I think he did like 6 months or whatever. But the fact that happened, you take a man out of his family unit, and you put him. I don't think people speak to this for me, Seychelle. I don't think people understand what the criminal justice system does to communities. When we get the crime part, and I think me and Sonia talked about this. Like, we need crime. We need, police. We need folks to protect the communities, protect the property, and stuff like that. But ain't nothing. It's a one-way street. There is nothing on the backside of the game to help folks recidivize and help folks get back into society. It's like a pipeline. Just talk to me about what it does.
See, that's where you're actually speaking on how Ruby Grant came in my head, because when you're incarcerated for men and women, I'm going to speak from the women's point of view because that's where I was. There are no programs to educate people on what it's like to go back into society. There are no classes. There are no prep classes. I mean, sure, they give you these little books that they throw at you to fill out and you fill out on your own. There are no classes to. Now, I take that back. They do have business software where you can go in there and learn how to write a resume and learn how to use a Unibook. But as far as people coming in and really educating people on there's none of that in DOC. It takes us. It takes those who are advocating to say, I want to go inside the facility and teach. Because that's where recidivism come in. And they say recidivism in Virginia is low. Well, that's because you lock people up for a long, long, long time.
They give them a gang of time?
They give them a gang of time for the crazy stuff.
Some crazy stuff lately I see. And I'm like, minimum, like 20. I'm like, for a fight? Nigga, you gave somebody 20 years for a fight?
If you selling drugs in Virginia, stop. Because they'll lock you up like you murdered somebody. You get more time for selling drugs than you did for pulling the trigger.
I had a homeboy whose son got into a fight, assault. When you get to shaking with people, anything goes. You can't fight somebody fair.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what his lawyer was saying. Like, hey, it was a fight. He was a young guy in a fight, college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but in the fight, because he watched dude fractured his face, fractured his face.
So now it's aggravated.
Yeah, it's like it did something to it. So now a dude is kind of like, you know, he's gonna be fucked up for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Should have thought about that before you swung them hands, though. Is what my point would be if I was on the jury. But they gave his son 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
look, he done said something, y'all, and I got stuck. I didn't know what to say because, that's Virginia will throw some time at you, and then they have the new earned sentence credit that helps reduce time. But because they know that you have that, so now on your sentence today, they even throw more time at you.
Oh my
Just
God.
to be able to have bodies inside of this business. Because at the end of the day, DOC is a business. And you have to have bodies there. $33,000 they pay a year for one inmate. And they have over 28,000. You do the math.
Remember, not to say HBCU's gotten better now with the dorms. Mm-hmm. I remember taking my son to North Carolina to college freshman year. I'm not gonna say the school, but the dorm looked like the cell.
Mm-hmm.
Center block looked like Section 8. And his grandma said, this is what they do. You know, you got two choices. You either go, it's a state-run institution. Mm-hmm. So, people know college or universities are state-run, state-supported, state-funded, just like prisons are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can see where their resources are going to. They building private prisons and prisons left and right. And raising tuition to price people out, especially if us, we don't have the means to go to just a regular state university. It's like the have and the have-nots. I tell people the next major shift in America, it's always going to be about color and race. Mm-hmm. But running a tight fucking second is who got it and who don't.
And who don't.
Who don't. Because, and I say this to the universe, and you think, because by the time y'all hear this, or if I check out of here, or whatever, trust me, somebody gonna pick up on it and gonna keep repeating or keep elevating what I say. But you don't have to believe me. If you don't fix this criminal justice system, this education system, get more folks to being educated and enlightened, who you think, if shit hit the fan, who you think gonna run up in your shit if they're hungry?
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat. I'm sorry. I'm getting animated right now.
Yeah, I feel you rub my knees.
And so you can only push a human being so far. Like I think about the politics. I'll try not to do politics that much anymore because for what? It's just gonna do nothing but get me mad and make me buy more weapons. You know what I'm saying? But who you think is going to tolerate all of this? You can't keep poking stuff. You can't keep poking the downtrodden. You
Yeah.
can't keep poking folks who can't catch a break, even when you're trying to catch a break.
But see, now we're talking about society too.
Yeah.
Because DOC is just doing what they're doing for those who are there. Now we're going outside. Now you got jobs that don't want to hire you because you're a felon. Now you have people that don't want to take a chance on you just because you have made that mistake. And it's like, if I can't catch a break, if you don't want to hire me, what do you want me to do? And as you said, I got to survive. So I got to go back and sell drugs. I got to go back and do this and do that because you're not giving me a fair chance. So where does rehabilitation come in? If I can't get it inside or if I can't get it outside, you basically done put me in a box where I have to survival of the fittest.
Well, that's where you, the Ruby Grant Project, and Sonia from Prison to Promise, all this advocacy and work that y'all doing in the communities is to fill that gap, to fill that void. Because honestly, the state government don't care.
No.
They you can tell they don't. That's not what I'm saying. That's not. I'm not saying that flippantly. You can tell by the budget. You can tell by like what they allocate for. I got a check back from the state saying, "Hey, you got a refund." I said, "Nigga, I don't put that shit in something that you know." My oldest son, when he started touching some bread, he was like, "I wish now I could choose where my money go for taxes." You know, because they, you know, it's going to fund stuff that, you know, priority-wise, it's just backwards. It's just backwards. I don't know if I don't know how old you are, and I don't do ladies' ages.
25.
Okay, hey man, bless your heart. she said you the old nigga still.
25.
She said I'm still a baby.
That's my story I'm sticking to.
You the old But when I was coming up, even in the 80s, in the Reagan era, when the crack era, we had programs after school. We had, as soon as the school bell rang to let you out, if your mama was at work till 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, yeah, you can go home. But there was a playground that had an employee by the city that knew the people in the community. Hey, you can't do it. I mean, people just looked out, and of course, they had one or two cats that go on a ride. That's gonna happen, and I feel bad that happened. You want to get. I always try to get to the bottom of, you know, how people get that, and usually it's because of poverty as a motherfucker and a lack of love. Those two things in a family unit, which comes to a lack of love. Like, if you got a better chance of fighting this thing, fighting this pipeline. That's why I could not see myself not in all three of the young men that I raised lives, because they could. I know they could have easily go. They go from 0 to 100. I was like, yo, man, when I was your age, you would have wished you had a dad like me to say, learn your emotion, learn how to get your emotion. Because that shit, I know too many people that been going out of here, pow, just like that. Because you can't control your emotion, you can't communicate, you don't know how to talk. You're too busy trying to all that bravado and shit, and that gets you killed. And you ain't never seen nobody get killed before or unalive now saying that. So, you know, you ain't never seen nobody head blown off. So it don't matter. You can't, you know, when you see something like that, when you hold somebody and they pass away in your arms, fucks you up. It fucks you up. And you would live life in a better way and treat people in a better way if it was to happen to you. So this is what I tell people. It's not a black or white thing, but mainly white folk. Look, if you don't want nobody running up in your shit, coming to get your shit.
What is he going to say next, y'all?
It ain't going to be me, because I'm not the type. You know, I'm good. But I know a lot of dudes. I know a lot of people that if they close out, or if there was an oil embargo and a grocery embargo, remember what happened during COVID?
Yes. You see what just happened? And I'll tell you something. when the government just shut down and they was messing with people's food stamps, I said, okay, so they want a riot.
They want a riot.
Because you're not, especially around Thanksgiving time, you done sit there and cut off people's food stamps. They got kids and stuff, and you think that you ain't gonna have nobody stealing. You not gonna have no. So when they do these government shutdowns, yeah, you shut down, but you just open the door for crime because people gonna eat. People gonna by any means necessary. They gonna do something. So a lot of stuff that the law or politics or the government try to do, sometimes I don't know if it's a setup. I don't know, but you opening the door for some craziness to go on here.
One of the things I say is there's a way because we here, and our ancestors found ways to finesse the fuck out this system, you know, and so I know because of that we gonna be okay. If we harken, I didn't say harken back to our ancestors, but I just think about, like, how did my folks get through, like, a bad harvest? You know, like, they didn't get no food in the house. What they do? Go out there and eat squirrels. I'm like, God damn. I'm going to have to pause this because I'm getting some feedback. It might be the weather. I don't know. You hear that?
I hear it. Yeah. I was just thinking to myself, like, I hear that rain, so Jay might see me take this ponytail off when I walk up out of here, because this hair is not going to be wet.
Yeah, we going to take, this is the beauty of recording and not being live. So what I'll do is I'll try to work this out. We'll take a quick break here, taking those shorts. I'm here with the founder of the Ruby Grant Project, Ms. Seychelle Williams. Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast, guys. Share this thing. I appreciate it, and we'll be right back. Okay, hello everybody. We're back here at Taking No Shorts podcast with my special guest today, Seychelle. I'm sorry, I'm eating my.
I always wondered how my mama. I was supposed to be a Tiffany. I was supposed to be a Tiffany, but
she went to the Seychelles Islands.
She ain't going to no Seychelles Island. I think if I'm telling the story right, my biological dad, let's just say that, sperm donor, his sister. Somebody done came up with the name Seychelle, and it just went from there, because I was supposed to be a Tiffany. So the next sister got the Tiffany. There's Tiffany, Tone, and Tanzania. I'm the only S.
Okay. Seychelle Williams, the founder of the Ruby Grant Project. Round of applause for her. She's taking time out here, Taking No Shorts podcast, to talk about her advocacy in the prison reform, criminal justice reform, and this second look bill. Now, is this a state bill or is it a federal bill that's coming out, the second look bill?
So the second look bill, it's Delegate Cousins. She's presenting that bill to the General Assembly. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Okay. I'm still researching the bill. I'm not a part of the bill. I'm just a strong advocate for it, because you have so many people that's incarcerated that depends on parole or depends on a pardon to get them home. Right. And so this second look bill will allow someone who's incarcerated to be able to petition their judge after they've served a certain amount of time, be able to just petition the court.
Instead of going through a parole board.
Instead of going through the parole board or all that craziness that they got out there to try to get home that does not work, rarely happens. Close to non-existent. So, and the second look bill is kind of personal for me, because when I was incarcerated, there were a lot of women who would actually, their families would hire lawyers. They would actually hire lawyers, pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for a lawyer to try to get a modification, sentence modification from the judge. And of course, it got denied, because in Virginia they have what's called the 21-day rule, and that's when you get sentenced in Virginia, and then after 21 days from the day of the disposition of the case, you're no longer eligible in court property, basically.
So if you don't go to the court 3 weeks after you sentence, you ain't gonna be able to.
Nope, they won't be able to do any modifications to the sentence. So now you got to go through the whole channel if you wanted, like, a habeas corpus, all the stuff that you got to do to try to get home. So of course they're now. Every now and then, someone would slide through the cracks and something would happen and it'll work out. Right. But one day I was just sitting there and I had all these certificates. Like, I was really doing my time productively. So I did a motion on my own. I just filed it, and my judge granted it.
Look at that.
My judge granted my motion. So I'm sitting here and I'm waiting for the DOC to recalculate it. Well, courts and legals said, we got to look more into this. And then it went off to the Attorney General and Mr. Jason Myers, whatever his name is. Goodbye. Yeah. He said, no, they don't have the power to do this. So this is denied. And then they filed a motion with Fairfax County to say, hey, take this off the table. You have no room to do this. That would have taken 6 months off of my sentence. But I was proud of that motion because I did it myself.
You did it yourself.
So the second look bill is like really something that I'm advocating for because people should be able to write their judge and say, hey, look, I've done this amount of time. I have certificates. I have no charges. I have this because hello, Virginia, people actually do rehabilitate. People actually do change.
Give them a chance.
Give them a chance. And I work with male inmates, and these are some of the smartest men I have ever met in my life.
Just bad situations.
And if they're given a chance, they will be one of those that contribute to society rather than take.
I think, I mean, it's obvious, or at least when I was coming up, cracker. A lot of brothers was locked up because they was fiends. They had an addiction. So it was being treated. It was being addressed incorrectly. Like you locking somebody up that's got an addiction, you know, and that ain't what you think gonna happen if they ain't get the treatment. They get out. They go get that right.
Incarceration is not always the answer, especially if someone that I've seen people get locked up just because they are drug users.
Right.
They're hurting themselves. They're hurting
themselves.
themselves, but they get this amount of time, but they're not off the programs, or they get incarcerated and you go sit them in front of a TV and have them watch these little videos. And I'm like, this is not helpful. They need actual treatment, actual around-the-clock clinical treatment. So once again, that is something that they are not prepared to do. And then I've seen people incarcerated, they couldn't wait to go back home. Let me take that back. These days, incarcerated, you can find the drugs inside the facility. So some people come there and become an addict because it's there, and that's what they do to cope to do their time.
Now you got a good segue for me because quick story. My uncle, God rest his soul, he transitioned in 2021. Came home after a 40-year bid in 2012. At the time, I was doing another podcast, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad my uncle's coming home. But definitely, while he was incarcerated, I definitely wasn't supportive. You know, my grandmother, like a Ruby Grant, was always going to visitation, whether they moved him from, I think he was in Greenville, State Farm, Augusta. I think the farthest west he'd been was Augusta. But I was a kid, and then through high school and even in college, and I had gotten victimized, you know, by him. Stole a quick story. So, you know, I love you. You know, this is why I can share this story, man, because he comes to me now. His spirit talks to me now in this walk.
Yeah.
And I think, like, he was probably just a scared young man.
Yeah.
You know, and he came home on. He got parole. He was on probation or got parole. He got parole when he first got sentenced back in the early 80s and came home like in 1990, early 90s, because I was in college, and he was cutting hair. You know, he had skills, hella skills. Handed man would he could finally fix everything in my house. And he called me up, said, nephew, I got a job tomorrow. He called me up, did a beeper.
Yeah.
That's how old I am. I don't know how. We know you 25. At the pager, and I looked at the pager. I wasn't in the streets, but, you know, I know what that meant. And I called the number, and he said, nephew, I got a job interview tomorrow on a construction site, but I need some boots. And I know you got some boots I could wear. I was like, yeah, I got some. I think I had some like old Tim, some shit. He said, let me get them joints for the job. I was 19, I think. I was like, okay. But he was one of those cats that, you know, in the family, you can't, if he around, you got to keep your eye on him because he'll house your shit. He'll take your shit. So B tried to be a good nephew. He whatever he gave me, I bought it. And I said, well, tell you what, because I'm at my mom's house on spring break. You know you can't come over here, but I'll leave them on the porch, right? And you can come get them. Well, that conversation took place. He beat me about 11. I hit him back about 11:30. You know, so after I hung up the phone, I go put the boots on the back porch and went on in the house. I think I ain't locked the door or he picked the lock. Because the next morning, my mom's car was going. He took that shit.
No.
And the family is like, yo, who got the car? I was like, why would I take it? Who been in the house? I said, because now I'm feeling like I'm partly responsible for this. So his brother, my other uncle, and my stepdad at the time, now they riding around Richmond where they street niggas, so they know like where all the chop shops at. They found the car, they found it. And that's all he was doing was to feed his habit. You know, sell it for parts, sell it for whatever. And that was bad. But at the time, at 19, I felt partially responsible. Now, at this stage, at my Gen X stage in life, you did?
Exactly.
I look back and it's like, I try to put myself in his shoes. Where was he at? Knowing that he probably pulled out of that first 40, he probably pulled from 80 to 90. So he pulled 10, 12 of the 40, came home, but and then he had to pull the rest and then come home until 2012. But I was so glad that, you know, he got to, and of course he came home to a job. We're gonna talk this out in a segue. How do we get citizens back into the workforce? How hard? Because he had a job. Talk about how difficult mentally it's for, because some inmates want to go back. It's hard for them to live out here because they don't know. I've heard some cats say like, yo, man, y'all don't understand. Like when we come out, I was at this. I'm sorry, I'm segueing a lot. So, and I'm saving myself from getting all emotional, and I'll pass it to you so you can talk because I'm gonna shut up. I'm chilling at TGI Fridays up on Broad Street. A young boy, this is a grown ass man. Yo, what's up, young blood? I already knew this nigga just came home. He looked like, I don't know him, but he just like the way he talking, the way he. I told my wife, I said, let's go. This nigga ready. Some people are not adjusting to the world after they're incarcerated. And talk about what that's like, what the world looks like to people coming home, and what it looks like to the person, you know, and what that does to the psyche.
You know what? I tell my guys all the time, you know, everybody wants their freedom. I said, but when you come out here, baby, I say life is lifing. Life is lifing. That's what I tell them. And it stems from, now a little bit about me. Incarcerated, you know, they have these programs where you're eligible for work release. So I was one of the candidates that could be eligible for work release. So when you go to work release, you work, depending on what jail allows you. So, you know, I started off when I was an inmate, I worked at the print shop, and then I went back to the print shop, and then I was a supervisor on work release. So when I left prison, I left with a car, a job, and an apartment.
All right. You took advantages.
Not everybody has that story because not everybody qualifies for work release, especially.
Oh, no, you got to qualify?
Oh, yes. You have to not have certain crimes.
Oh, not everybody can get
Not everybody can get work release. So, and then, I came back to the print shop as, girl supervisors. And they're like, that's not going to happen for me. I want that too. I want to get, so that was nothing for me to brag about because I sympathize with people who would not be able to have that opportunity. But now the thing is, okay, you might can't get it on work release, but what can we do that it can be easy or at least not stressful for you to obtain when you go home? And then it goes back to employers taking a chance in hiring people, not just for warehouse and fast food and something that's easy. There, like I said,
they got to make a living.
Where I work at, I have one of my workers there. He probably could fix anything in the United States. You daggone well can go home and get HVAC. You just have to find people to give you a chance. So, like I said, society too, give them a chance. Give us a chance because you'll meet the Seychelles. You'll meet the. I tell people all the time, this girl that I met incarcerated, I call her my cousin. She the one who I was almost late because I had to go take her U-Haul. Hey, Flo.
Yeah, Flo. Hey, Flo. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out when it come out. Okay.
It's gonna come out. But I met her, inside, and we live side by side, And when you're in that environment, finding people that is encouraging and want to be something. So I surrounded myself with positive people. I bought her first CDL book. Now she came home, stayed on her grind, and now she's the first female CDL driver for VCE where we work at.
Right.
So
that's where the money is too, for real, because you can't get no robot to drive.
That's why I made sure she got the CDL because down the road I got a plan for her.
Yeah.
She just stick by because that's hey Flo.
Hey, Flo.
But also being incarcerated, sometimes DOC is not going to give it to you. You got to go out and get it. So how bad do you want success? How bad do you want to beat the odds that society has, the labels that they have placed upon us? You have to, so it all starts in the mind. That's why I was saying being incarcerated starts in the mind. I want to be different. I want to be better. I have a friend, I'm like, you ain't tired of doing the same old thing. You see, you've been doing this for years and then your way ain't working. Try something different. And, so, eventually the selling drugs and all that, it got to get old. And sometimes, to some people it don't, especially to those who don't get caught or who think that they won't get caught.
Yeah.
But it all starts in the mind that you want to be better. And I'm not going to say that coming home is easy. I'm not going to say that coming outside is going to be hard. It will be hard to get the job that you want. I know somebody who relapsed because they were trying, but they didn't get the promotion. And they just, it's like, frustration, and they relapse. So a lot of the advocacy groups out there today, and I'm meeting a lot of them, Sonia, she's great. Bending the Bars, the Humanization Project. We all have a lane that we're in. So at first when I came into this, it's like the Ruby Grant. And yes, the Ruby Grant, but the Ruby Grant is not a singular. I'm now joining a movement of different organizations that at the end of the day, we have one mission in mind, and that is to help people.
I was talking to Sonia right when she was here. I don't know if you've seen the Alabama Solution.
I heard about it.
Okay, go watch it. It's a HBO documentary about the state prison system in Alabama. And it's probably a microcosm of most, especially down south, prison systems, where the abuse, the corruption, the unlawfulness, the hiding of murders, like you losing people. People don't think. When I was doing my ancestry journey years ago, I came across one of my uncles. He did time out in the 60s out west in Marion State Prison. And his death certificate said suicide, right? Now, I'm not going to say, like, just because we African Americans, we don't do, like, mental health and stuff is real.
Yeah.
So, unaliving yourself can happen. But there was always stories galore passed down about how was unalive. And you flip over the death certificate and gunshot wound to the head and who's reporting it. And you see the articles and everything. He got into an argument with one of the COs. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happened. And that's people are saying it now. I saw in Minnesota the other day, the young white lady. The government now is killing people in the street. Mm-hmm. So what you think they doing to people in jail or incarcerated? What do you think they doing to people in the prison? And you're not going to hear about it. You know, so, yeah, taking those shorts is all kiki, haha, I'm a funny guy. I like to have a good time, I like to sip, trip, and all that good stuff. But I like to also have folks coming on the platform to let this, you know, go out to the world, to the universe, to let them know that these folks are not forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard. I still deal with guilt of, hey, every weekend there was once a month there was a bus that went to the prison to go for visitation, and my grandmother would never miss it. And she would ask me when I was a young guy, hey, come with me. We're going to see Mark this weekend. And when the bus would pull off from the YMCA down on Main Street. And I'd be like, oh, well, I look like going taking a 2-hour bus ride to the mountains, 2 hours, and then go through all the strip searching and all that. You know, my life is great. And so people, I have guilt about that. I felt so bad. I apologized to him. Yeah. I'm sitting on the corner of Meta and Claiborne. And this is how you know, cars pass by, like we out on the corner, it's late, like 9, 10 o'clock. The car's just driving by, but he is on point. Yeah. Like, just street nigga shit. Yeah, just street nigga shit. Like, and I say, yo, man, I'm sorry. I apologize, man. I didn't come see you. You know, and I don't know how it landed on him, you know, because towards the end of his journey, he had definitely turned his life over for the better. Yeah. You know, and it's just a shame that so much life was taken away from him. Yeah. By a mistake, you know, or by, you know, by a bad judgment. Mm-hmm. You know, the article I read for him, because I be doing my research. Richmond Times Dispatch, 1983. Man found unalived on Allen and Carey Street. Mm-hmm. Perpetrator took 2 kerosene heaters. And I told Sonya the story on our episode. That's because we had no heat, nigga. Yeah. We had kerosene. We had no heat. We lived in a shack. Yeah. We was poor. Yeah. That man was trying to get his family warm by any means. So, yeah, they are victims. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't belittle that, you know, because if crime happens, they're going to be a victim. I'm just trying to tell the world, hey, get to the bottom of why this shit is happening. Yes. And unfortunately, with incarceration, I've come into different scenarios for different crimes. Like I say, somebody might have took a life, but does that make them a murderer? They made it was a bad judgment depending on the situation. One girl killed the father of her child. She was pregnant. And they were in a domestic violence situation, and he kept coming for her. He had the gun. And he dropped the gun. So all she would do was just move it out the way, and she got it. And then he charged her. It was like, "B, I'll kill you." And then she just fired it, not meaning to. It just went off. And you know, prayerfully she's home now. I actually have to look, but during the time, you know, she's incarcerated. She's pregnant, you know, and just the time, like Virginia, they don't have the self-defense law, and just because she shot it, you know, she's guilty of something. So, and like you said, mental health in our community, it's real, and it's okay to say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I need to, you know, because like I said, not everyone do their time how I did my time. I kept my head in the books. I got paralegal certifications. They only had to tell you but one time.
day.
You ain't going back.
That was my one and out.
Oh,
but my one and out was when I first got sentenced. I was mad at the world.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was mad at God. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk. I stayed in the cell for like a month. I didn't want to do anything. And then one day, it's just like I can't do my time like this. And I like cried the one cry that I needed to cry.
The one last cry.
And was like, God, if you give me just a mustard seed of faith. I will. I will give you a mustard seed.
Yes, that's right.
I will run this race.
That's right.
And I woke up the next day, and this was one of those prayers where God said, right now is your time. Right now. Because, I always say God, he do things when he wants to in his time. But right now, he knew I needed that. And the next day I woke up, and it was like, I never looked back. I never looked back. So, people do their times differently, but we as advocates, I wanted to be one of those to reach those who are incarcerated before they come out here, because that mindset. So I've been researching, transitional housing and programs and, trying to create a pamphlet for them that have reliable resources so that can ease some of the fear that they have of coming out into society with not knowing. Because that's, like I said, I've seen that too. I've seen people locked up and on their release day, the CO got to pull them out because they're scared to go because they don't know where they're going.
They don't know where they're going.
And yeah.
No, go ahead.
So that's one of the things with the Ruby. I want to reach them while they're there. And then when they come out here, still be with them, because there are people who don't have family. I was one of those that was blessed. I had my family. I had the support that I needed. Not everyone has that. So it's just a navigation. And we have a lot of the other groups that are advocating that's going inside of the facilities and speaking. That is very important to know that you have somebody that's going to speak on your behalf.
Some halfway houses is a motherfucker.
And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something about halfway houses. I've been doing my research. It's not everybody got a drug problem, because the thing is some people just need somewhere to go. I just need to get myself together. I just need a start. I just need somewhere to
start their life.
But, the drug programs, you got to go there and you got to program. And that's good for those who need it, but someone shouldn't have to go to a drug house just to have somewhere to go. I'm not going to say a drug house, a rehabilitative program for substance abuse, and that's not what they need. So that's something that down the road that I want to look more into, but I'm thoroughly researching in different cities, Roanoke, Lynchburg, Charlottesville, different transitional homes for people that need somewhere to go when they go home. So
great.
It's been a challenge because there ain't a lot out there for women.
Great work that you out here doing, Seychelle. Let everybody know how they can the Ruby, find out a part of being a Ruby Grant project. Are you taking in like donations, anything so folks can help you in your advocacy, and let everybody know where they can find you on the socials?
This is so crazy right now. The Ruby Grant Project ain't even about the money right now. Right now, the Ruby Grant Project is just getting out there to introduce what it's about in the lane that's being crafted to be a part of the group of organizations that fight for criminal justice. So a lot of right now is really me just marketing with vending bars and with Freedom for Promise to see what they do and see how I can be of service with them and how we can work together to navigate. Because even more so than our individual projects, we're still tackling the laws and the big advocacy, which is criminal justice reform. So there's advocating for what we do, but also the big platform itself, which is criminal justice reform. But I am still slowly putting more stuff with the Ruby Grant Project together. But my Facebook, the Ruby Grant Project, email rubygrantproject@yahoo.com. Seychelle Williams, you can also follow me on Facebook through there, but the Ruby Grant Project, and really see the stuff that I'm starting to get more involved in. You'll see I'll be posting bills on there that's making me mad, and that's stuff I want to research for. I do my little
I saw you post some stuff about look at
you see, I be talking to the people.
That homeboy talk about Red.
Now let me tell you something. I saw that the other day. So what he's talking about is right now in Wallens Ridge and Red Onion and Keene Mountain. Let me cheat for a second. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You know, they have a lot going on because of the officer that was killed over at River North, the inmate that killed that officer. So what's happening right now is DOC is taking it out on all of these institutions. And they're crying right now.
Because they probably feeding them, or they feeding them probably crap.
They're crying out for help. Lockdown, days, not using the phone, no commissary, not talking to their families. They are crying out for help. Some of these facilities need to be shut down. Now, Red Onion, you know,
that was early 90s. That's one of them jobs they built up on top of.
You know, Red Onion is like if when you don't want to do the rec yard, you in your cell and all they do is open the back door and that's your rec. You know, you got to be shackled for everything. So it's
high security.
How is that playing on your mental? How is that going to help you be better? How is that going to make you want to change?
God forbid I was going to. Please don't, Lord Jesus. God, Jesus. No.
You treat them like animals, they're going to act like animals. Or if you know, and some, you know, the person who killed the officer, he's now at Red Onion. Now, I ain't saying you should be because what you did, you shouldn't have did.
Red Onion, usually you don't get, unless you get first sentence, usually you get moved to Red Onion from somewhere else because you did something at another facility.
Yes.
They can't control you.
So if you at Red Onion, you know, but at the same time, Wallens Ridge and River North, you know, these inmates, they're really crying out for us to listen, us to help. I think I went to something last week. I saw Ben in the bars there, Freedom Over Everything. My girl Sonia was there, and we were really trying to see if there's something that we can do, like what needs to be done. Basically, DOC needs to be revamped. We already know the statistics and what's wrong. We already know that these institutions are in trouble. So criminal justice reform get bigger than what I preach about. Yeah. It's a big platform, and change is going to take a lot of us to.
Well, you're in the fight. You're in the fight. You're in the advocacy. You're doing the work, and it's continue doing it. Don't let. I mean, I already know you ain't gonna stop. You know, because you had that moment where you had that prayer in the cell. God, if you. Everybody. I don't think no human being, if you get even babies, well, not babies, because babies probably don't be knowing, but God, even if you go to Virginia State, Norfolk State one weekend, when I was on that bridge, God, if you let me get sober so I can get a whole, and I won't do this again. You know, keep doing your work, sister. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Seychelle Williams.
Thank you so much.
Y'all check out is the Ruby Grant Project on Facebook. Y'all give her some encouraging words. Y'all follow her, Seychelle Williams, on the social. See what she's up to. Hey, you don't have to be co-signing ABCD. Just have a loving heart, a loving spirit, and put yourself in other people's shoes. Yeah. You be good. My new saying going in to 2026 was love in so you can love out. You know, you got to start loving in first. You know, so you don't do self-sabotage, hurt yourself, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, relationships. Love in first. Get that inside shit first straight. Then you can love out, and then the universe will see who you are from that. Okay, you don't have to explain it. It don't have to be quantified. It don't have to be, you don't have to defend it. It'll just show. Yeah, it'll just show. So, with that, thank you, Seychelle, and
thank
until
you so much.
Next time. Oh, y'all, this episode will be out. It's gonna be out. Y'all just like, share, and subscribe. It's coming out.
It's coming out.
And until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.
talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine life.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay.